Okay, so I've got a player who's messaged me and they're feeling a little bit low in confidence at the moment because their manager keeps switching the position around that they're playing. This might be something you might be going through right now or have done in the past or might do in the future. At any point in any player's career, you're going to have to deal with something like this. So instead of having it lead to a lack of confidence, I want you to try and switch this around and see it as a great opportunity instead. So shift around the mindset, use this as an opportunity to improve. So when you're playing in a different position, that's going to require you to use different skills, take the ball in different directions, have different movement patterns. All of a sudden, if you're playing at the back and used to having everything in front of you, you might be playing centre midfield and you've got things all around you. So you're going to have to develop your awareness as well. All these things are going to develop you as a player, and you wouldn't be able to develop yourself in this way unless you were put into a different position. Okay, so it's a great opportunity to improve. Think about this. So this is a common issue in youth football, but at, say, the highest level, if you want to put Paul Pogba, for example, at right back, even though he might not be the best right back in the world when he goes and plays there, I guarantee he'll still do a decent job. He's not just going to, be Sunday league level when he goes right back, because he's a good footballer. Okay, so it's an opportunity. See, it's an opportunity to develop yourself as a footballer, be a more well-rounded player and athlete, more effective all over the pitch and more versatile as well. And then you can take those new skills that you develop and put them into your preferred position and improve in that way. Okay, so just I guess first thing is acknowledge that the situation isn't ideal. Players like to play in the same position, their favourite position, if they feel like that's their best position, and it allows them to build up some form over time. But it's not always the way. And in football, it's obviously a team sport, and that's just the nature of team sport sometimes, is that you have to play out of position and you have to be good enough to be able to adapt and play there. And that's going to help you long term in both in terms of your career and being able to be a player who's picked first, because there might be a player in another team in the future who's stronger at you in your preferred position. So what's better, sitting on the bench or being good enough to adapt and play in another position? I'd argue the second choice is probably the preferred option. Okay, so the next thing I want to note is that for coaches, it's very hard, especially in youth football, not to rotate players around. So you might be thinking, just in terms of you, why are they playing me over here when they know I'm a better player over there? Try not to take it too personally, because the likelihood is that there's another player who plays your position as well. And if you're playing there, they're not playing there. So they're going to be feeling low in confidence. So sometimes rotation is just something that has to happen in football. And again, try and use it as an opportunity to develop as a player, which is going to help you in the long run. But the last thing I just want to note is that to try and really take ownership in this situation. So instead of sort of pointing the finger, think of it in this way. Think, well, if I was playing out of my skin in that position and was the best player he'd ever seen or she had ever seen, my coach had ever seen in that position, then would they be less inclined to be moving me to another position? Answer is probably yes. So maybe your coach is, where you're playing, you're not doing some of the things that your coach wants you to be doing. And in their head, they might be thinking, maybe if I move this person to a different position, they actually might play better there and develop better there. So that might be their thinking. That comes back down to assuming the worst case scenario. So if there's a lack of communication there between the player and the coach, the player's going to start thinking one thing, which might be completely untrue. And then, so if you can maybe go to your coach and say, I appreciate that. It's hard for you not to rotate players sometimes. Just wondered, are there some things I'm not doing when I'm playing that position that will help me improve? And they could just be like, yeah, there are a couple of things. They give you 2 things to work on. You go away for the next couple of weeks, work on those things. The coach sees you working on those things. They give you another shot in that position and you play better. That all comes down to taking ownership of the situation, and instead of sort of being a victim, being like, how can I get the best out of this situation? How can I develop as a player? And what is my coach thinking about this situation, rather than trying to second guess what they might be thinking, which might be completely wrong and is adding to your feelings of low confidence, which might be completely avoidable. They might be thinking, he or she is already playing great there, but I reckon they might be even more effective in this position, so I'm going to put them there. If they haven't communicated that, then you've got all sorts of things going on in your head. So yeah, a few things just to help you in that situation if you're going through this. See it as an opportunity to develop. Realise that it's just the nature of team sports. If you're playing a sport like tennis, you're not going to come up against this problem. It's going to help you become a more well-rounded player in the future. At the top level, pro players can play well in all positions all over the pitch if they're asked to go into a different position, even if it's not their preferred position. Okay, and take ownership of it and think, can I go to the coach, ask him a couple of things I need to improve on, and then ultimately it's going to lead to you becoming a better player. So I hope this helps. Please share it with a teammate or coach if it did, and I'll catch you again in the next video.